I am standing on a retired battleship in San Francisco Bay. That's because I'm at Opensauce. Now, what exactly is Opensauce? Opensauce is a celebration of makers and creators put on by this guy, YouTuber and turtle enthusiast William Osman. Known for his egg drop videos, owning an excavator, and building his own X-ray machine, it was like a science fair for grown-ups. Going to this event was one of the top 10 experiences of my life so far. There were panels from some of my favorite creators. The Adam Savage from Mythbusters was there, and there were hundreds of projects shown off by passionate makers that were mind-blowing, hilarious, inspirational, and so much more. Plus, I got to meet some creators that I've been a long-time fan of, any of whom I would rather meet than any A-list celebrity. They were kind, genuine, and extremely generous with their time. More on them later. It's time to talk about the projects. First off, there was a freaking mech, the X-Sapien. There were steam-powered apparatuses. I got to touch grass for the first time, that was pretty cool. There was a clear piano, Caltech's $200,000 solar car featuring a drain pipe for ventilation. That's how you know the money went to the hardware. Also featured were headbots, a giant keyboard, and a Pinewood Derby race that shredded the losing car, and much more. Also, I had the one-of-a-kind experience of watching Arc Attack perform. They use freaking Tesla coils as speakers, and they use Faraday cages to protect themselves and volunteers from the audience from the artificial lightning. They produce a very unique sound. Have a listen. That was a taste of Opensauce. But why is it called that? The name is a combination of open source and sauce, the internet slang of providing the additional information and/or source material. The event is a place for makers and creators to show off what they have made and created. There is a creator museum where I got to see some creations of my favorite YouTubers. There was the iconic robot made by Alan Pan that gave snakes their legs back. I also got to see some metal mushrooms and other creation by Cody from Cody's Lab, who I also got to talk with for 45 minutes. I paid extra for a premium pass, which included a creator discussion, which was a one-of-a-kind experience. I meandered down a curtained hallway into a room with plywood propped up on sawhorses to make a table, and I was the first one in the room. Due to my chronic earliness, I was able to speak with Cody and his significant other for 5 minutes before about 7 other people joined us. It was a surreal experience. This was my first experience meeting any celebrity, let alone one I respected and admired. A lot of the people were starstruck and just kind of stared at Cody, and I think he was out of his comfort zone too. I was able to heroically moderate the conversation and got the ball rolling with a brief conversation about my favorite book, Project Hail Mary, written by the Martian author Andy Weir. Cody was a science consultant on it, and he pointed out to us a critical flaw in the book. Comment if you want to know what the flaw was. All in all, Cody was very generous with his time, and we all got in a photo op. I volunteered to take everyone's pictures, so I could overstay my welcome a bit more. He is exactly like he is in his videos and is a very genuine and kind person, and it was great to meet one of my idols. Another idol of mine that I got to meet was Colin Furze. He is known for his shirt and safety tie, lack of helmet, and enthusiasm for incredible contraptions of questionable safety. I first saw his creations on a show called Outrageous Acts of Science, which started airing around 2012. He appeared multiple times on the show, but I find his appearance for the Wall of Death the most memorable. Colin was super polite and generous with his time, and it was an honor to meet him in addition to Cody. Both have been a part of the YouTube science/makers community for a very long time, and it was very clear that all the other creators present look up to both of them as the pioneers of this community. Another creator I bumped into was Jake Laser, yeah, that's his actual name, known for his Make It Real projects, most notably his Spider-Man wall climbing apparatus, which was featured in a MrBeast video. Daniel from the Waterjet channel had a booth, and I got to talk with him and see some cool creations, including a cup noodles cut in half exposing their lies, and I got to see a pistol cut out of bulletproof glass, which is peak irony in my opinion. Additionally, I got to meet the very tall air motor enthusiast Tom Stanton. There were a lot of people wanting to see him. I think his height made him stand out a lot, so I didn't interact much with him so the line could move on. But he was super nice too. I got to see Stefan from his channel CNC Kitchen, and he was wearing his 3D printed shoes. I only recently started watching his content, but his 3D printing videos are outstanding, and we spoke briefly on an idea I had about recycling PLA filament, which I am in progress on. Lastly, I bumped into VFX artist and one-wheel enthusiast Ren from Corridor Digital on 2 separate occasions. On the second meeting after the event was over, I asked him if he could do a kickflip on his one wheel. He said he couldn't do it, but did this instead. Big thanks to Ren for indulging my nonsense. This event was spectacular, and I am incredibly grateful to all of those that put it on, and I plan on going back next year. Despite all the DIY circuits and projects of questionable safety but unquestionable creativity, nobody died! Woo! And the only injuries I was aware of were people bonking their heads on the low hatches of the ship, the SS Jeremiah O'Brien, which was where the food vendors were, and was a pretty cool exhibit in its own right. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious, stay creative. Have a good one now. Bye-bye.